This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Baruch Haba. We're continuing Mishna Berura Daf Hashavua. I found my Dirshu Mishna Berura, so I just want to focus on one thing that we read earlier that we were asking about, and that is the Mishna Berura said that when the Chazan says Amen Yehi Shmei Rabba, the Shatz needs to say Yehi Shmei Rabba belachash. He doesn't need to repeat the words Amen because he said V'imru Amen, and he says Yehi Shmei Rabba belachash. And we were sort of bothered why belachash, especially like Rabbi Yeager pointed out that if someone's a Mil Shmon Esrei, they have to stop and listen to the Chazan say Yehi Shmei Rabba. So Mendy pointed out yesterday or the day before that the Dirshu quotes Reb Chaim Kanievsky in the Isha Yisrael at the end of the Sefer, Tshuva Chav Gimel, also Reb Binyamin Zilber, Shas Shuvas Aznid Baru, that it doesn't mean quietly. It means he doesn't have to say it b'kol ram like the rest of Kaddish, because he doesn't have to make it hurt to others, because everyone says it themselves. I still don't understand that, because later on the Mishna Berura says in Siman Kuf Dalet of Katan Chavav that if someone's a Mil Shmon Esrei, they should be silent and listen to the Shatz saying Yehi Shmei Rabba. That implies the Shatz says it out loud. So the Dirsha says it means he says it out loud, but not as loud as the rest of the Kaddish. Why not? If anything, he should say it louder than the rest of the Kaddish, because this is the one part that he has to be moitzi others. So I get the pshat. I get that the Mishna Berura doesn't mean dafka belachash, as it just means as opposed to b'kol ram. But why should it not be at least as kol ram as the rest of Kaddish? Since this is the part where technically, if someone's in the middle of Shemana Esrei, they need to be moitzi other people. The Ramah continues. So the Mechaber said three halachas. One should be mechavein when one says Kaddish, and what to say it, answer it b'kol ram, and run to hear Kaddish. But the Mechaber did not say to stand. The Ramah said you should stand when you say Kaddish. Yesterday we learned that even though that's the shita of the Ramah, that you should stand when you say Kaddish. However, the Mishna Berura brought an opinion of the Maharil and the Taz that you only have to stand for Kaddish if you happen to be standing. Let's say after Hallel, you should not sit down. Now, the Dirshu says that's only if you're standing midin tefillah. But if you happen to be standing, let's say you stood up for an old man, we don't know what the din is. So the Kaf HaChaim says the din would apply even if you stood up for whatever reason, you should continue standing. And then the Mishna Berura says you should be choishish for the machmirim. So I mentioned I daven mincha usually with the Svardi Kehila. So yesterday I couldn't really help myself, it was like instinctive. How do you not stand up for Kaddish? But I'm not sure that that's the right thing. In other words, if they're sitting, and according to them, you never have to stand. You never mechuyev. Not sure. Okay, let's continue. The Ramah says, "Umi shabal beis haknas." Ono comes to shul. Shamei hakol oinen Kaddish, and he hears the call saying Kaddish. Oinei imahem. He answers with them. Even though he didn't hear the Shat say Yiskadel Yiskadel Shmei Rabba, he hears people saying Amen. Amen Yehi Shmei Rabba. He should answer with them. V'gam hash'ah. V'gam hash'er tzibur tzarech loymar Yehi Shmei Rabba. The Shatz also has to say the words Yehi Shmei Rabba. Now here he doesn't comment. Low, loud. Uchshamaschel Yiskadel. When you begin Yiskadel, Yesh loymar ve'ata yigdal na koyach v'goymer zechar achamecha. Can't say I know what that is. But there's some tefillah, I guess, that Tzibor says when the Chazan says Yiskadel v'Yiskadel. Says Mishna Berura, Oinei Imam, Afilu in ba be'ez gemar anias amin hishmei rabba. Even if you come at the tail end, Dahainu sha'omer mivarach, they're up to mivarach. V'chadoyma, Afil hachi yomer yehi shmei rabba. But v'chul v'lo yamar amen. If you catch the tail end of mevarach, you say Yehei Shmei Rabbah, but you don't say amen, because you didn't hear what the Chazan said earlier to say amen. The amen koi al yiskadel d'shel tzibor, and you didn't hear that. Avo Yehei Shmei Rabbah shavach ba'apei nafsheh. So that in general is important to know. There is no response, amen Yehei Shmei Rabbah. That just doesn't mean anything. The response is amen, pause. Yehesh, there are two separate responses. V'chein l'inyan kedusha and ba koydem shesh limai. If you come before they finish, motor le'mar imam, you could answer with them. V'im ba be'ez sharoi b'tzibur aimrim amen yehesh shmei rabbah. If you come at the time that most of the tzibur is saying amen yehesh shmei rabbah, yomer gam ken imam amen yehesh shmei rabbah. You didn't hear what the Chazan said. It's okay if the majority of the people are saying Amen Yehei Shmei Rabbah. But it sounds like if the miyad of the people, meaning he started off by saying, I'm not clear. The first halacha is talking about when you come in and they're saying mivarach. So if they're saying mivarach, you missed the whole thing. You could say Yehei Shmei Rabbah, but you can't say Amen. But if the majority of the tzibur are saying the words Amen Yehei Shmei Rabbah, even though you didn't hear the Shliach tzibur, you could respond with them Amen Yehei Shmei Rabbah. Im yachal az l'chavin data b'yamiyas hamein she's boina mashu oina. Provided that you could think then when you say Amen that you're gonna contemplate what you're answering on. Meaning, you know when you're allowed to say Amen even though you didn't hear the first words of the Shliach Tzibur? That's if, in other words, you come in and the Tzibur is saying Amen, Yehei Shmei Rabbah. Now you didn't hear the Chazan say Yiskadei V'Yiskadei Shmei Rabbah Ba'amad Rachel Samim L'Chosei. But if you could be mechavein, I'm answering Amen to that which the Chazan said, Yiskadei V'Yiskadei Shmei Rabbah Ba'amad Rachel Samim L'Chosei B'Chai Yichanim V'Yimachan V'Chai D'Chol Beis Yisrael Ba'Galos Man Karev V'Imru Amen, you can answer Amen. If you can't think that, you can't answer Amen. You could say Yehei Shmei Rabbah, but you can't say Amen. So bottom line is, if you come in at the tail end of Yehei Shmei Rabbah, you could say Yehei Shmei Rabbah. If you come in when the majority of the tzibur is saying Amen Yehei Shmei Rabbah, then you could answer Amen Yehei Shmei Rabbah. Sounds like provided that you could be mechavein that the Amen is going back on what the Chazan said that you didn't hear. Now, the Ramah said that when he starts Yiskadal, you should say Va'ata Yignal Na Kayach. What does it mean when he starts? It says Mishmur Kolamer Koydem Sheschel, before he starts. The B'shah Sha'omer HaChazan Yiskadel, Tzarech L'Shemayav L'Shag, you have to be quiet and answer and be silent. Kamavoyer Bereish Siman Kov Chav Hey. The Tzarech Lahazin Ulahavin Masha'omer Shel Tzibur. You need to listen and understand that which the Shat says. V'gam Sheyeda Acher Kach Ama Oina Amen, and also know what you're answering Amen to. I'm not familiar with this tefillah. I don't know even if I've ever seen it in the Siddur. See the next Mishna Berura. V'ata yigdal v'arizal lo haya roitza sheyamru. The Ari did not want to say it. V'chemad haya megamgem, and he would practically challenge it. V'omer she'eno mehatikunim, and he says, it's not part of the program. V'lachein ein la'amroi ben yishtabach liyoytzer. Therefore, you don't say it between yishtabach and yoytzer. Oy bekadish ta'arvis shu ben gula tefillah uv'chal makom she'asur lahafsek. But it sounds like if you're allowed to be mafsik, you could say it. I don't think anybody says it. It sounds like the Arizal didn't like it. Now, what's interesting is that in general, minhag hayeshivos and most of the poskim hold that Arizal is only echad min ha-poskim, and we would not follow the Ari over the Ramah. And Rabbi Vadia also held that for Sfardim. However, it seems when it comes to Nusach HaTfilah, the Ari, I'm not saying to daven Nusach Ari, but in terms of what to say, the Arizal has primacy. Okay, let's begin Siv Beis. Kishashil Tzibur Omer Yisbarach Kol ha'am oinim amen. When the tzibur says Yisbarach, everyone should answer amen. Raise your hand if you do that. V'chein kishamer b'richu, you should say amen. Raise your hand if you do that. V'chein kishamer v'imru amen, that we do. Says Rama, v'loi nagul amer amen achar Yisbarach. V'loi achar b'richu. V'loi yafsik bein b'richu le'ela mikol b'rchasa. You should not interrupt between the words brichu leila. That we do interrupt. Let's start the Mishna Berura. Achar Yisbarach. Aval achar Yiskadeh v'Yiskadeh Shmei Rabbah haminhag la'anois amen. You hear this? The Shulchan Aruch does not say that you answer amen to Yiskadeh v'Yiskadeh Shmei Rabbah. There is no halacha that you answer amen to that. You get this? We're learning halacha here. There is no halacha to answer amen to the words Yiskadeh v'Yiskadeh Shmei Rabbah. It's only a minhag, and therefore if you're not allowed to be mafsik, you're not allowed to say amen. There is no halacha to answer amen to the words Yiskadeh v'Yiskadeh Shmei Rabbah. You can't answer it during Bercha Upela al Shulchan Aruch Shalahitik Amen Azeh Shemavar Barambam V'Tikul Veis Yosef. It's a pella. Now the Mishna Berura is wondering why the Mechaber did not bring this. But he didn't. Now the Beis Yosef brought it. We have to examine this further, because when we say it's a minhag, does that mean it's less than other answers? Are other answers a halacha, or it's all minhag? We'll see next week. Okay, but it's of note that the Mechaber never says to answer amen to the words Yiskadeh v'Yiskadeh Shmei Rabbah. You know, if you ask most people, what does it mean to answer amen to Kaddish? What do you mean, Yiskadeh v'Yiskadeh Shmei Rabbah? No, it's not even on the list. The ikar ones that are on the list, we don't do. Yisbarach is a halacha. We don't do it. Brichu, it's a halacha to say amen. We don't do it. Now, here's a big mistake. This is very common. People, brichu le'ila. So that's not wrong. It's just apikarsas. It's more than wrong. It's heresy. So here the poor guy came to shul in the morning. He rolled in a few minutes late, so he was up to Yigdal by the time he got up to the Shemoneh Esrei. And then to top it off, he said, Brichu le'ela. So he's Mecharif u'Megadef. That's why it's important to learn halacha. Otherwise, okay, we'll see that next week. Hatzlacha, Kol Tov. Good Shabbos, everyone.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.